Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. Namaste. My name is Maria and I'm going to be guiding you through a evening wind up, wind down yoga flow. It's going to give you a little bit of energy, but it's going to help you focus, and we're going to also focus on relieving some of that tension with the breath that we've been building up throughout the day. So get into something comfy and meet me on your mat. We're not going to need any props today. To begin, you are going to begin either seated or in child's pose. You can bring your knees to touch or knees apart. Send your hips back towards your heels. Walk your hands forward to the front of the mat. Relax your heart down and let your forehead touch the earth. If we're coming into seated, find whatever seated position is most comfortable for you. I'm going to begin in a cross-legged. And if you're here with me, remember to bring your torso back in space a little. Line up your heart over your pelvis and your head over your heart. As we start to settle in, take a big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale. One more time. Big inhale in through the nose, fill up your torso. And exhale, let it all out. Do that a few more times if you need to. Otherwise, we'll return to natural breathing with our nose. Breathe in and out through your nose here. Feel that air passing through your nostrils and into your body. Maybe doing a somersault. And exiting it out. Feel that heat. Inhale, fill the belly. Exhale, relax the shoulders. Soften your hips. Feel your body melt into the ground. Feel gravity take over. On your next inhale, you're going to lift your arms up high to the sky. If you're in child's pose, you can reach your arms a little further towards the front of the room. Feeling that stretch to the upper body, feeling your shoulders open a little more. And then finding whatever movement feels good here, maybe rolling out your wrists. Maybe big cat stretch. And on your next exhale, release your hands down to the ground. Tuck your chin and find some small movements with your neck. Maybe bringing your left ear to your left shoulder. And then on the other side, right ear to right shoulder. Bring your chin back down to your chest and keep rolling your neck. Little half moon or crescent moon circles. And then maybe start to build from that. And maybe start to roll your shoulders up towards your ears and then around and back a few times. On the inhale, reach and squeeze. On the exhale, roll them around and back to relax and let it all go. And then when you're ready, we're going to rock forward onto our hands and knees. If you're in child's pose, you can just make your way back up to all fours. Your hands are shoulder width apart, your knees are hip width apart. So your hands are directly under your shoulders and your knees are directly under your hips. We're going to start with some cat-cows. So on the inhale is your cow. Drop your chest, drop your belly, lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, but keep the shoulder blades down and back. Exhale, dip your chin, round your spine, tuck the tailbone, push away from the mat. Inhale, lift the gaze, push through the heart. shoulder blades down. And exhale to round on your cat. Inhale, drop the belly, lift the tailbone. And exhale, cat, round the spine. Dip the chin into your chest. A few more times on your own here, following your breath. So on your inhale, whenever that is, you're going to drop the belly, coming into cow, lifting the gaze, lifting and pushing through the chest, but keeping the shoulder blades back. And on every exhale, just round your back and move into cat. Push away from the mat with your hands. A few more times on your own. Your breath, your movement. And then return to neutral spine. You're going to send your right leg and your right toes back toward the back of the mat and keep them here on the ground to start. You're going to rock forward on your toes a little bit, giving a little stretch to that back of that leg. On your next inhale, you're going to lift your right heel up, level out your hips, flex your toes and point your toes down. And then extend your left hand and arm out in front of you. Gaze is down. Your left ear is by your left bicep. Ground down through that right hand. Find stability here. Don't drop into that right shoulder. Make sure you're pushing away from the mat here. And on the exhale, release. You're going to switch it out. Bringing your left leg back to the back of the mat and rocking back and forth a little on that one. Creating a little movement, waking up that back leg. And on your next inhale, you're going to lift that right heel up, point the toes down, level out the hips, push into that left hand and lift your right hand out in front of you. Right ear to right bicep. Make sure your hips are level here. Push into that left hand. Don't sink into that left shoulder. One more big breath in and exhale, release. Bring your hips back towards your heels and find a little rest in child's pose today. If at any moment you get tired during this flow, you can return here. And come back up to tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under and slowly, on the exhale, lift the hips, coming into downward facing dog. I'm going to pedal out the feet here, finding any kind of organic movement as you settle in. Ground down through all 10 knuckles, especially your pointer finger, knuckle, and thumb. Rotate your biceps and your inner elbows out, forward towards the front of the room. Keep your knees bent here, but actively send your heels toward the ground, creating that reaching motion. Eventually, we'll be able to straighten out the legs, but for now, just keep them bent or whatever feels good. Inhale and exhale. And when you start to find stillness, you can bring your feet out wider than hip width apart to ease a little pain in the low back. Stay strong here, push away from the mat with your hands. Big breath in, fill up your torso, find length in the spine. Exhale, bend your knees, and slowly you're going to tiptoe towards the front of the room, 10 tiny steps. Coming into forward fold here. Bend your knees deeply. Option for ragdoll, opposite elbows. Maybe rock a little side to side here, finding organic movement. Maybe rocking a little bit back and forth. Inhale. And exhale to release any tension you've come onto the mat with today. Big breath in. And let it all go with that exhale. Plant the hands on the ground or bring the hands to your shins or hands to your thighs. We're going to half lift, flat back. Bring the shoulders down away from your ears. Your back is parallel to the floor. Keep a little bend in your knees here. Pretend there's a teacup resting on the back of your neck. Create space and create length there. One more big breath in, and exhale, fold it over. Inhale, bend the knees to slowly roll up to standing mountain pose. Keep the chin tucked and lift the head last to avoid becoming lightheaded. Coming into our mountain pose, Tadasana. Your feet are hip width apart. Your palms are facing towards the front of the room. Keep the knees soft here, but keep the belly strong. Keep the core strong. We're going to inhale, circle the arms out, around, and up. Bring your hands to touch and bring them down to your heart space. Inhale one more time for the shoulders. You're going to circle the arms out, around, and up. And this time, instead of bringing your hands to touch, on your next exhale, we're going to come into a tiny back bend, bringing your arms into cactus arms. So lower your elbows and squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift your gaze a little. Keep bending your knees here, but keep your belly in. Pull that navel into your stomach so that you're not arching in the low back. Most of the back bend here is coming from the upper back. One more breath in. Feel that expansion through your chest. And exhale to release. We're going to grab your left wrist with your right hand and send your hands over to the right side of the room. Pull that left shoulder back if it's lunging forward, and feel that stretch through your side body. Pay attention to your breath here. Every inhale might make you come out of it a little, but every exhale sink into it a little deeper. Inhale, return to center, switch your grip, and then send your hands to the left side of the room. Remember to plug that left shoulder back to be in line with the right, pull that right shoulder back to be in line with the left. Big breath in here, you might come out of it a little bit. On the exhale, sink in a little more. And inhale back up to center. Your hands are going to touch. We're going to swan dive, forward fold. Keep your knees bent, keep your gaze down. Drop your forehead closer to your knees and extend the crown of your head down towards the floor. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Find any organic movement that feels good here. On the inhale, you're going to plant the hands, step your feet back into plank pose, and lift your hips, coming into downward facing dog again. On your next inhale, you're going to raise your right leg and start to find some organic movement here, maybe stacking your right hip over your left, maybe some leg circles here to open up your hips. And if you do that, reverse the circles. And when you're ready, level out your hips. Point your toes down, flex your toes. On your next exhale, you're going to hollow out your belly, bring your knee to your chest, and bring that right leg in between your hands. Keep the back knee lifted, keep your fingertips on the ground. Straighten out through your back, lift your chest, and pull your heart forward. You're going to bring your hands to your hips and slowly lift up into high crescent lunge. You're going to keep your hands on your hips here, making sure that they're level with each other, manually pulling one back if one's a little bit ahead. Your right knee stacks over your right ankle, and your left knee is straight. So maybe lift that back thigh a little bit if your knee is bending or if it's falling. Feet are on 2 separate railroad tracks here. Stay strong through the thighs. Option to lift the arms up above overhead. Exhale, bend your knee, hover over the ground. And inhale, turn your left toes out. Keep your right toes pointing towards the front of the mat or front of the room. And that back edge of the foot is parallel with the mat, so that the left leg and the left toes might come in just a little bit. Coming into warrior 2. So the front heel intersects the back arch. Arms straight out, parallel to the floor. Stay strong here. That right knee is still directly over the right ankle. And exhale, triangle. Lift the arms up. Inhale, warrior 2 again. We're moving into extended side angle. So on your next inhale, you're going to lean your torso forward as far as you can. And when you can't lean it over anymore, you're going to drop your hands to 12 and 6. Gaze can stay on the floor or gaze can stay up. Stay strong through your thighs here. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten the right leg and send your right arm back to the back of the room. Inhale, return to low lunge. Send that right leg back, coming into plank, and then lift your hips for downward facing dog. Ground down through all 10 knuckles. Spin the inner elbows forward. Bend the knees here, and then find stillness. Option to bring your knees down and rest in child's pose here. On your next inhale, you're going to raise that left leg up. And again, finding organic movement here. Maybe stacking that left hip on top of the right hip. Maybe finding some small or big knee circles and then taking them the other direction. When you're ready to find stillness, level your hips and point your toes straight down. On your exhale, you're going to hollow out your belly, pull your navel up as you bring your left knee into your left chest and bring that left foot in between your hands on the floor. You're going to come on up onto your fingertips. Send that chest forward, finding length through the spine. Bring your hands to your hips. And on your next inhale, slowly lift or float your chest up to come into high lunge. Left leg, left knee is directly over the left ankle. Thighs parallel to the floor. Make sure your hips are level here. And push your right thigh up into space. Option to lift the arms here for an added challenge. And feet are on railroad tracks here, so this will help find stability. On your exhale, hover the left knee. And inhale, bring it into warrior 2. turn your right toes out, and you keep your left toes facing towards the front of the mat. Your front heel intersects your back arch, arms are lifted. Inhale and exhale to sink in. Make sure you can still see your big toe. And inhale, triangle pose, lift the arms. Returning to warrior one or warrior two. We're gonna hinge forward with the torso, and then when we can't go forward anymore, we're gonna drop the left arm down to 6 and the top arm up to 12, and we're gonna stay here. Find stability, push into the back foot. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten out through the left leg, and send that left arm over to your right side. And then return to low lunge, plant your hands, send that left foot back, and then return to downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet here a little bit. Find stillness and return to your breath. Inhale, lift that right leg up, level out your hips. Bring that right leg through your chest and in between your hands, feet are on railroad tracks. We're gonna move through that same sequence, that same vinyasa a little quicker now. So your right knee is stacked on top of your right ankle. On the inhale, we're gonna float the chest. Exhale, lower and hover the back knee. Inhale, open up to warrior two. Exhale, hinge your torso forward, extended side angle, lift the left arm, drop the right arm, and then reverse triangle. Cartwheel the hands down, send the left foot back, coming up to downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up high. Send your knee to your chest and then through. Plant your left foot in between your hands, coming up onto your fingertips. Place your hands on your hips and inhale to float your chest up. Left knee over left ankle. You're gonna exhale, hover the knee. Inhale, left toes point out, warrior two. Left heel intersects the back arch. Exhale, extended side angle. We'll reach forward and then bring your arms to 6 and 12. And inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through that left leg. Coming into a low lunge again. Plant your hands, step your left foot back into plank pose. We're gonna move through a vinyasa this time. Option to come onto the knees, but bring that weight up onto your hands so we're not in tabletop here. We're in either low plank or high plank. And on the inhale, you're going to shift forward on your toes. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. Bring your hands by the low ribs. Inhale, peel your chest up. There should be little to no weight in your hands here. All of the lifting should be coming from your chest and your upper back. Exhale, lower your forehead down to the ground. Inhale, we're going to do it one more time. Press your hip bones and your pelvis into the ground as you lift your chest, and only your chest. And exhale, return your forehead to the ground. Untuck the toes. Return to tabletop, and then lift your hips for downward facing dog again. We're gonna do this flow quickly one more time. So lift the right leg up, bring it through your hands, come onto the fingertips. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, float the left knee. Inhale, warrior two, hands out, parallel to the ground. Exhale, hunge forward, and bring your left hand up and your right hand down to 6 and 12. Knee stays bent here, knees directly over the ankle. Inhale, reverse triangle. And exhale to cartwheel it down. Inhale, send your right foot back. Move through your own vinyasa or option for child's pose or straight into down dog here. So lunge forward, come all the way down. Hands come to your low ribs. Inhale to lift the chest, peel off the ground. And exhale, untuck the toes. Send the hips up and back for downward facing dog. Lift the left leg up high. Toes point down. Foot is flexed. Bring your knee to your chest and then bring that left foot through in between your hands, coming up onto the fingertips. Hands come onto your hips. Inhale to float the chest up. Exhale to hover the knee. Inhale, warrior two. Left knee stacks over the left ankle. The back foot is parallel to the mat. Exhale, lean forward, arms to 6 and 12. And inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through that left leg. Exhale to cartwheel it down. Plant the hands, inhale, send that left foot back. Option for your vinyasa here, or meet me in downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet, find stillness again, find your breath again, any organic movement that feels good here for you. Inhale, start to straighten the legs, but keep a slight bend in your knees. Send the hips and the tailbone up high to the sky to create length in your spine. And we're going to move through this vinyasa a little differently this time, so listen closer. You're going to lift the right leg up high and send your right leg to your left elbow. You're going to stay here for a breath and then extend your right leg out to the left side of the room. Come onto the inside of your left foot, the side of your left foot, almost like a plank here. We're coming into fallen triangle. So almost like a plank, and then your left foot is, or your right foot is sticking straight out. Plant your hand, bring your knee back up to three-legged downward facing dog. And then we're going to continue with the low lunge. So bring your knee into your chest and then plant your right foot next to your right hand. Coming onto the fingertips, grab your hips, float the chest up on the inhale. Exhale, hover the left knee. Inhale, warrior two. Exhale, lean forward. Extended side angle. And inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through that left leg. And this time, keep the right leg straight. So the bottom half is going to be in triangle, and we're going to move the top half to get into a triangle too. So this time, you're going to hinge forward in that triangle, just like we did with extended side angle. And when you can't reach your torso forward anymore, then you drop your right hand and lift your left hand. Pretend there's an imaginary wall behind you that you're leaning up against. Option for your hand to come onto your shin. Option to use blocks here too. Bend your right knee. Return your hands to the ground. Inhale, send that left foot back. We're going to move through a vinyasa here. So come on up to the tops of your toes. And this time we're only going to lower halfway down. And lift the chest for upward facing dog. Lift the knees, squeeze the quads. Squeeze the shoulder blades down your back. And exhale, downward facing dog. Return to your breath here. Option to come down to child's pose for a few breaths. And find stillness again. Lift the left leg. We're going to do fallen triangle on the left side now. And bring your left knee to your right elbow. On the exhale, extend your left knee. Turn and pivot on your right foot to come onto the side of your foot. And then just lift your arms straight up. Fallen triangle on this side. Exhale, bring your right arm back down to the ground. Bring your knee into your chest, and then extend and return to three-legged downward facing dog. On your next exhale, hollow out the belly, pull that left knee and left leg through, plant your left foot on the ground next to your left hand. Find stillness here, find stability. Bring your hands to your hips and lift your chest, float your chest. Coming up into high lunge. Exhale, hover the left knee. Inhale, pivot on the back foot. Front heel intersects the back arch, coming into warrior two. You're gonna hinge forward. Left arm drops and your right arm comes high to the sky to 6 and 12. Inhale, reverse triangle, straighten through that left leg, reach your left arm towards the back of the room. And again, we're gonna stay in triangle here, so hinge forward again, just as we did with extended side angle, and then drop your arms to 6 and 12. Pretend there's an imaginary wall behind you that you're resting your back on. Option for your lower hand to come rest on your shin, or to bring a block to use here to help find stability. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bend the knee, plant the hands, send your left toes back towards the back of the room, coming into plank pose. Last vinyasa here, option to come into downward facing dog. If not, we're gonna come lower halfway down, flip to the tops of the feet, lift the chest, coming into upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Pedal out the feet here. This is the last down dog of the day. Shake your head yes, shake your head no. Big breath in through the nose. Open mouth, exhale to let it all out. Inhale, big breath in. And exhale, bend the knees, drop the knees. Send the hips back towards your heels. Let your forehead rest on the ground and extend your arms forward out in front of you. Find a few moments of ease here to feel how your body feels, to notice any subtle differences. Big breath in, feel your belly. Big breath out, melt a little more. Start to move your arms and your hands back to grab onto your ankles. We're going to be moving into a rabbit pose here. If you have neck issues, please just stay in child's pose. Otherwise, we're going to bring the knees to touch, if they aren't already. Bring your forehead closer to your knees. Bring the crown of the head towards the mat. And then start to lift your hips a little. Straightening out the arms. They're cupping the ankles. And you're coming on to the crown of your head. Try to have very little weight in your head here. But feel that deep stretch through the upper back, through that neck. Exhale, slowly return your hips to your heels. Bring your forehead up and on to touch the mat. Release your hands and push yourself up, lifting the torso. We're going to swing the legs out in front of us, and we're going to scoot up on our mats. Bring the soles of the feet to touch and bring the knees wide. Coming into Baddha Konasana, bound angle pose. Don't force your knees to touch the ground here. Be gentle with yourself. Everyone's bodies are different. Don't push it. Bring some blocks here, or you could use a blanket if that feels a little better, just for some added support. And soon you'll be able to lower by finding space through your hips and creating space and flexibility. Inhale and exhale, relax a little deeper. Start to massage your feet a little bit. Wherever you feel tension, maybe you've been standing all day and your feet are tired, or maybe you've been seated and your feet haven't touched the ground, and maybe a little stimulation here helps. Inhale, bring your chest and your torso over your legs and gaze down as if you were gazing into your reflection in a pond. One more big breath in and big breath out. Return your torso to neutral, so bring it back up to seated. Your hands are going to come onto the outside of your knees, and they're going to help guide your knees back into center. Extend your arms out parallel to the floor and slowly start to roll down, feeling as though you were rolling onto one vertebra at a time. Bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze. Tuck your shoulder blades down underneath your heart space. We're going to move into some supine twists. So extend your left leg straight out. Keep your right knee into your chest. Take your left hand and guide your right knee over to the left side of the room. Option to extend your right hand and your right arm out. An option to gaze over to your right. Inhale, return to center. Bring your left knee into your chest and extend your right leg out. Bring your right hand, take it to the outside of your left knee, and guide that left knee over to the right side of the room. Option to extend your left hand out to the left side. Option to gaze to the left. Inhale back up to center. Squeeze both knees into your chest. And then maybe start to do some circles with your knees. Helping your hands guide your knees, finding a little bit of a massage down in your low back. Find whatever feels good here. And then reversing the circles. When you're ready, bring your knees up to your chest for one last big squeeze. And extend both legs out on the mat. Legs fall wide, feet fall to either side of the room. Palms face up. Tuck your shoulder blades under your heart space again. Tuck your tailbone under a little bit if that helps. And start to let go of any conscious breathing. Resist the urge to turn off the video or walk away. This is probably the most beneficial part of this practice today to help us wind down into the evening. Just observe your thoughts and don't react to them, as if they were just clouds passing by. Soften your forehead, soften your jaw. Relax the shoulders. Relax your lips. Soften through your arms. Feel gravity start to take over. Feel the weight of your bones get heavier with every exhale. Any thoughts from the day thus far, any to-do lists, any stress, any tension, we're going to take a few breaths in, a big breath out to let it all go, to ease you into your nightly routine. Inhale. Open mouth, exhale, let it all go. Inhale to fill up, find stillness. And exhale, open mouth, let it go. One more time, big breath in. And exhale to let it all out. Release all that tension, release anything that's on your mind. Start to settle in here. Relax your body. Slowly start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Rubbing your fingers with your thumbs. Open your eyes and take in the color of the ceiling or the sky. Return to your body. Bring your knees into your chest. One more big squeeze. Bring your arms up above over your head. Give yourself one big cat stretch. Bring your knees into your chest again. And roll on to any side of your mat. Make a pillow with your right or left arm, your lower arm for your head. When you're ready, push up with your top arm to return to seated. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope this practice served you and helped you unwind from whatever kind of day you were having. And hopefully you're ready to go into your next part of your evening. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, leave me a comment, and subscribe to my channel. Sending positive light to all beings everywhere. Thank you so much, yogis. See you next time.